So, clearly you are who you say you were.
No, I am not Grimsley Royland. My real name is Nikolina Pavlova. Everything you said was correct. See, the issue with me is that I was like thinking of like this like Russian femme fatale a la like Boris and Natasha from Rocky and Bullwinkle. And it's like, oh, this is a 15-year-old ballerina. Whoops.
I mean,
So
the
now I have to like
accent's the same.
modulate.
You just gotta, like,
Yeah, but
stuff like
like I was like trying to
bitch.
be
And
more sultry with it, you know? Like I was like thinking like Russian Camila Fire Emblem.
you could be sultry, it might come off weird, but.
That's what I'm saying. It's fine. I am a professional through and through. It's okay.
Okay, well.
Sorry, I forgot that I voiced Sholmes. You absconded during one of your ballet company's performances in order to escape your homeland.
Yeah, but yeah, Sholmes is, as I stated, it's because of the whole, the great deductions, which are
Listen,
very
I'm
much
thriving.
a core mechanic, and they have a back and forth just as much as, like, defense attorney and prosecutor, so.
Like, you have given me the greatest gift you've ever given me by letting me voice Herlock Sholmes. Like, this has been a joy and a
I,
pleasure.
I'm glad you like him so far.
Later that night, you stole aboard this vessel.
Which couldn't have been easy. The Burya is a huge steamship with a vast crew. Could she really have snuck on board without being noticed?
In order to obscure your true identity, you somewhat recklessly took the guise of an old gentleman. And you intended to sever all links with your past by severing your long hair. Yet, to a woman, hair is no trifling matter. My personal recommendation is to leave well alone. Give me 1 second, by the way.
Okay. I'll wait for Inheritance to be ready.
Okay, you can keep going. My mom
So,
called.
so if it was just you about to cut off your own hair, who was to let out the scream we heard from outside the cabin?
Yep. Veritable tinkling of a bell. Why, none other than this young lady, naturally.
More like a full set of pipes, if you ask me.
I was so scared when I ran away in Shanghai. I was sure they would come looking for me. That's why I decided to, how do you say it, disguise myself?
Disgust.
No one would disgust myself, sorry. No one would recognize me. As a result, you transformed yourself into that questionable old man? I see. I put on the fur hat and fake beard. Then, just before you came in here, I saw it in the newspaper. Right on the page, there was a picture of me. I was so frightened I couldn't stop from screaming. I knew if I hadn't changed my appearance completely, they would find me. She just happens to carry around like a full old man disguise. So I decided to cut all my hair as fastly as possible. I picked up the scissors in my hand and...
I think she was already disguised, but she still had the hair.
Oh, and she decided to just like get rid of it.
Yeah.
At that precise moment, we walked in through the annoyingly unlocked cabin door. Things happen like that sometimes, don't they? Things do indeed happen like that from time to time.
Are those two even talking about the same thing?
There's just one thing I'd like to know. What exactly do you have inside your traveling case? You're right. It is my dear friend, my only friend in the whole world. Please, don't tell anyone. If the captain finds out, if you say anything of the crew, if you say to any of the crew, your secret is safe with us, I assure you. But in return, you must tell us in as much detail as you can muster about the events last night. Yes, all right. I will tell you. Well, Mr. Naruhodo? Wasn't it something, Mr. Sholmes' great deduction?
It was certainly something, yes. I'm just not entirely sure what. But at least Miss Pavlova has agreed to tell us what she knows. That's incredible.
Indeed, it is incredible. Oh, and one more thing.
Oh, yes? What?
Observe your wrists.
My...
Oh my god. Your hands are cupped again.
What? But how?
True to my word, I have restored your shackles.
Grr, when and why?
How? That's a better question. There is still a shadow of guilt cast over you, Mr. Haruhodo. I'm sorry to say, it can't be helped at the moment.
Can't it, really?
Anyway, let's listen to what Miss Pavlova has to say. I can't go on not knowing.
Sholmes the magician confirmed. No, he's a great detective.
I have to find out what the speckled band that Kazuma-sama wrote about in his diary really was.
Okay. Converse or examine, because we can do both now.
Let's, converse.
Converse. Did you know that someone was killed in the cabin next door to this one last night?
One of the crewmen told me this morning when I was eating breakfast.
The man who died. He was a friend of mine.
Oh,
That's why we're trying to find out what happened. Did you notice anything unusual last night?
have you heard a strange noise, for example? Perhaps people talking? Perhaps the ship was absorbed in a wild tempest. Perhaps its steam engine exploded.
Perhaps everyone on board would have noticed if that happened.
Miss Pavlova, is there anything you can tell us? I don't know. I'm sorry, but all I can think about last night was what I had done, and whether they would find me. I didn't notice anything that was happening around me.
Oh, I see. You've run away from your ballet company, haven't you? The Novovich Ballet?
Yes. I am traveling to Great Britain, and from there I want to go to America.
I want to go to America.
I'll never dance in America. What they forget in America about ballet in America. Sorry. I will never dance again. I want to forget everything about the ballet. I will start a new life.
What could I get for bringing up musicals?
Specifically West Side Story. It's very near and dear to my heart because I'm Puerto Rican.
There.
You wish to forget a challenging proposition when you have that striking tiara as a reminder. But the tiara is mine. I need it to live. I have no money of my own.
I don't know, Dragon. I think she has a little shame.
The Nova Village Ballet gives us only a little food and water. We must dance all over the world. That's rough. I had to run away. I had no choice. If I had stayed, they would have killed me.
You slipped into Italian.
They would have killed me. So you ran away to protect yourself? Yes. And the crew of this ship. They have been kind. They've all been kind to me. They let me come on board, and they said I could hide in this cabin. If that is indeed the truth, Miss Pavlova, it creates the most intriguing conundrum. Yes, it does. What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo?
Me? Oh, well, yes, of course. I think we should hear Miss Pavlova's explanation. To a conundrum, I'm not sure, but...
Conundrum. Miss Pavlova, allow me to pose you a riddle. According to this newspaper, it was only yesterday you absconded from the ballet. Now, that being the case, it must have been last night that you boarded this vessel. However, the SS Buria stopped by no port last night.
Ah, that's it, of course.
So how is it, pray, that you've come to be aboard? I am Pasternak Kruller. We are both Russian. Now to think about it, the crewmen outside the cabin acted very strangely when we mentioned that. It was just after we asked him when the occupant of this cabin came aboard.
That is not your business. Sailboat.
Elbow. Come sail away.
Yes, you're right. He did seem to be hiding something.
An angel descended from the heavens, bringing grace and beauty to the stage.
Sorry? What was that?
It's how the Russian newspapers describe one of my performances. And that is how I came here too. I descended from the heavens because I am an angel.
Considering English isn't your mother tongue, your description is very vivid.
Mr. Sholmes once said, I can never resist the touch of the dramatic. It seems Miss Pavlova is the same. A genius descended from the heavens, bringing grace and beauty to detection. What's one said about myself? I'm sure. A quote from the wonderfully extravagant advertisement for The Adventures of Herlock Sholmes, in fact.
Yeah, Dragon sounds legit. Yes, Mr. Showy. Anyway, it doesn't look like Miss Pavlova is going to tell us what really happened.
Friend, you've got a friend in your briefcase.
So the friend you mentioned is inside your traveling case, is that right?
You've got a friend in your briefcase. I don't think that animals are allowed on board according to the rules of passage. Oh, please, don't tell any of the crew. If they found my precious, then the burly Russians would bestir themselves into unison to throw you or a case overboard, no doubt. Ah!
So reassuring, Mr. Sholmes.
But what sort of pet is your friend? A little puppy?
That's a weird voice for Susanna, but okay.
That was Herlock Sholmes. But what sort of pet is your friend? A little puppy, is it? But what sort of pet is your friend? A little puppy, is it? Isn't it?
That was a myriad of voices for the same line.
Listen, I'm trying my best. This is...
Maybe an adorable little rabbit.
Perhaps a chinchilla. You credit Russia as a land with small rabbits, do you?
Oh, don't they have small rabbits there then?
You may well ask. Hoo-ha! I have no idea.
Ha.
You two are miserable bungers when it comes to understanding the nature of the young ballerina's friends. Isn't it obvious? It must be a chicken. Really? Consider the benefits. A rousing wake-up call, daily fresh eggs. And when adversity strikes, it could satisfy the needs of sustenance. Yeah, eggs can satisfy the needs of sustenance.
So you'd eat your friends. I'll remember that.
I've never understood that. Like, why kill the chicken when you can just have the eggs?
Because the eggs are a slow amount of food, while the chicken's a lot at once.
Yeah, but then you don't have any eggs anymore.
But
It's
if you're
versus long term.
yeah, but if you're about to starve, like, and you need that much food.
No, I don't think that's how that works. Well, it should appear this friend's identity is as closely guarded secret not to be revealed. That wasn't a joke there.
So she obviously doesn't quite trust us yet. There's something I should like to show her, I think. Maybe she might be able to shed some light on it. Should we examine?
Do we have something to show her?
Possibly. Do you want to present now or examine?
Yeah, let's see what we have to show her, just to keep the train of thought going.
Rather eat chicken than eggs, Dragon? I like both. I like chicken with eggs.
The diary entry?
This is the diary of my friend who passed away.
His diary?
Yes, and he wrote in it last night before he died. Something a little unusual. It reads, 1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound. And then a few minutes later, 1:35 a.m., what looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill.
A speckled band? I don't understand.
It's strange, isn't it? The ventilator he mentions joins this cabin, you see. It's up there on the wall.
In other words, this cabin and the victim's cabin are connected together. I wouldn't have thought it's on that side. I would have thought it's on the other side. But, like, it's just, like, forced perspective. Like, we came all the way into the room to the other side of the wall to talk to her. Oh. Miss Pavlova, has something occurred to you? Does the speckled band the victim mentioned mean anything to you? Or the whistling sound, perhaps? No. I don't know anything.
Oh. Excuse me, Mr. Roylott.
Yes, what?
Wow, she's fast. Captain would like to speak with you. You must come to Captain's quarters at once, please.
All right, I will come now. I will come now.
What?
You must leave now.
Oh no, it's fine. Don't mind us.
Yes, please don't worry yourself, Mr. Roylott. Get out!
The passenger said out, or do you want me to throw you out? Okay, looks like we'll have to leave investigating this cabin until later.
What a pity. Oops. Guess we don't get to investigate the cabin.
You made your choices.
And so we lost
So
our
we
chance.
lost a chance. Having still not managed to investigate Miss Pavlova's cabin, we were unceremoniously chased out. That is to say, we were quite literally picked up and thrown into the passageway outside.
Which is going to lead to the bad end. Like, is that going to be a problem?
What?
That we couldn't investigate? Or was it going to, like, railroad us to this conclusion anyways.
This is going to happen either way, so I'm guessing we couldn't investigate there after all, but I did this case like 3 months ago, so... I wish we had been thrown out. Oh.
It's fine, you can vote.
No!
I wish we hadn't been thrown out like that.
I wish we managed to find some clues to what the speckled band might be.
I wish I could have more opportunities to deduct. We didn't manage to investigate at all. And I imagine that we won't be able to for a while longer. We'll never get past that sailor guarding the door. Dragon, that's an Easter egg for the future.
The 999, I think it's, you found it, is what they say.
You're gonna be real silly when something happens in the future. You're gonna be like, oh.
Spoilers.
Listen, all I'm
That
saying
was a
is,
Doctor Who reference.
Oh, don't blink. That's a Doctor Who reference.
Yeah, but that's
it's
unrelated.
bigger on the inside.
You're clearly glaring at us as if to say, don't even think about it. Oh, wait a minute.
What is it?
Well, what happened to our great detective friend? Where did he go?
Oh yes, he completely disappeared. He's Nightcrawler.
When did he do that? He slipped away as quietly as the wind, but not before ensuring that these were securely back on my wrists. Nothing new, nothing new. Nothing. Ooh!
Back to the door.
Oh, this is probably the same. Or most of the same. It's locked, can't open it.
Well, no, it stands to reason. No one wants to let the murderer escape.
Gosh, she gave me a very stern look when she said that. Okay, it was different. First class cabin number 1. Yes, that's our cabin. Oh, this is the same thing.
No, our cabin is Scazamaster's cabin.
Your cabin is the wardrobe.
It's me, Susatosaur.
Okay, you're kind of getting silly now. I wonder if Inspector Hasanaga has managed to uncover any new clues.
Oh, that's new content.
Yep.
Yes, we should probably find him and ask.
To the Hasanaga mobile.
It's probably all covered in blood. It's gross.
No, just a little that it coughed out from the radiator.
From the and then it lifts up his wheel to like wipe it off.
The windshield wiper just like wipes down off the hood.
It's a pure white windshield wiper too. It's custom made.
No, actually not the radiator. It comes up to the wiper fluid, and then
yeah,
and then it wipes it clean a little.
Just it wipes it.
Dang it! Now I want an entire Cars adaptation to Great Ace Attorney.
Listen, we already established Lightning McQueen. I said it.
You mean Owen Wilson? Is that what it is?
Yeah, Owen Wilson voices Lightning McQueen, but I'm saying in this one, Herlock Sholmes would voice Lightning McQueen. Owen
Wilson voices Herlock Sholmes.
Oh no! He's the true Moriarty.
Listen, it's better than Mario's voice. It looks like we're still investigating in here.
Listen, It's a Me, Chris Pratt is probably the funniest joke I've ever come up with in my entire life. Yes, on that subject.
No, because that means we're in the bad timeline.
I wonder if Inspector Hasanaga was unscathed.
What do you mean unscathed?
Oh yeah, because he was going to live his life. He was going to risk his life for us. Surely you haven't forgotten, have you, Naruhodo-san? Don't you remember what he said about allowing you out of this cabin to investigate? Also, my chat wasn't up at the time. Did everybody find the It's a Me, Chris Pratt joke funny? Can people chat out in the chat if they thought that was funny? Like, I have my chat open now. He was going to talk to the captain about it. He said he'd lay his life on the line for you.
Oh, yes. But I'm sure he was exaggerating. Let's see what he has to say for himself. He might have some new information for us. You never know. Where should we?
We're trying to look for him, aren't we? Or are we going to talk to the one that was kind of...
Oh, there he is. We just had to turn our head slightly.
Oh my god.
I love it. They just had this conversation. They don't know where he is. And, like, they just don't think of turning their head a little. Like, 20 degrees. Clearly, everything you see right in front of you, that's all that exists in the room.
Object permanence, canon. These are babies. These are all babies. They have no object permanence. Well, did you guys not catch that it's a me and Chris Pratt joke? Oh my god.
You're back. Inspector.
What happened to you? Your faces.
Please, don't worry about it. They're just scratches.
The one time there should be blood coming out of
Made
his
by a
mouth.
bear, maybe. When I told the captain I had given you permission to investigate, he told me he'd pummel me with his fists and then toss me overboard. What? But the pummeling was over in a flash, and he must have decided against throwing me overboard. So it was nothing, really. Looks like he wasn't joking when he said he laid his life on the line if he had to.
Well, thanks for your efforts. Thanks to your efforts, we now know a little about the neighboring cabin.
Yes, so I understand.
Oh. It's okay, Dragon. You can keep working.
I bumped into a man claiming to be a great detective a little while ago. I think his name was something like Herlock Sholmes. I don't think he was German, though.
Herlock.
Ah, that explains it.
Herlock.
Herlock. I can't do the German H, but you know. Shall we compare notes then? We can tell you what we found out. Yes, let's do it. Well, I never noticed his glasses are all crunched too.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate.
Glasses aren't cheap in the late 1800s feudal Japan.
Late 1800s.
What? Nikolina Pavlova. She's in the cabin next door. Oh, do you know who she is? Please, what self-respecting ballet fan wouldn't know that graceful angel?
Osunara would be a ballet fan.
Oops, I think I upset him there. Well, that tells us the neighboring cabin is unrelated to the case at least. Oh, how? Because angels don't go committing crimes, do they? Oops, now I've definitely upset him.
Inspector, has your investigation here proved fruitful?
If I'm honest, there's very little more I can do. Our duty is to make sure the scene isn't disturbed, ready to hand over to the Hong Kong police. So I'm just keeping watch here, trying not to take my eyes off the job.
Oh, I see.
There is one thing. I do have a small piece of new information for you. Oh, what?
Yes, do tell us, Inspector, please.
What is this new information you have, Inspector? It's this. The Burial's medical officer has finished his examination of the body. I managed to obtain the report. Oh, Kazuma's postmortem report.
Postmortem report. Kazuma-sama.
So, what was the cause of death? Damage to the cervical vertebrae is what's written in the report.
His neck was broken?
Yes, it would seem so. There were no obvious wounds or other signs of injury. So at first I think they were considering poison. But it turns out they found no trace of poison in his system at all. Well, what weapon was used? then... Nothing has been found as of yet, but the fact that there are no signs of a wound suggests it may have been a blunt object, something that wouldn't leave a mark. Oh, I see.
All the body's nerves run through the spine to the brain. A strong enough impact to the neck could induce death. And no obvious wound would be left.
Poor Kazuma. I have a second copy of the report. If it may be useful, you're welcome to have it. Really? Are you sure? Yes, it's fine. I trust you. After all, if I didn't trust you, I'd never have agreed to you leaving this cabin in the first place, would I? Ah.
Oh, gosh. This would be so funny if this was a murder of Roger Ackroyd style mystery, where the narrator was actually the... Sorry, spoilers to the murder of Roger Ackroyd. The narrator was the killer. Oh, Mr. Sholmes was here, was he?
Yes, he seemed to be enjoying himself a little too much as he crept about on the floor investigating. But then he suddenly left. I suppose he must have become bored.
Did
he say anything at all?
And just like, nah, bye.
Actually, now you mention it, yes. Just one thing, but he practically shouted it. "It's shoe polish," was all he said. Shoe polish? I wonder what he meant. It was when he was over there, by the broken piece of broken glass. Do you see? Huh? Susanna?
Perhaps I was talking about this brick-colored mark, so do you think?
Yes, that must be it. But how could Mr. Sholmes know that shoe polish? That leaves me cold, I'm afraid. I have no idea.
I bet that they're going to reuse that model action because it clips through his head, so it wasn't unique to that outfit.
What is it, Suzato-san?
Well, Kazuma-sama was wearing leather shoes with a very dark tan hue.
Dark tan? Sort of dark brownish red, then.
Yes, a little like the color of red wine, but darker. I often repaired them for him.
Oh, does this mean that this mark was made by the polish on Kazuma's shoes as they scuffed on the floor?
We got more information!
That's really all I can tell you at this stage. I should return to my post. My fellow crewmen's eyes are boring into the back of my head. Yes, that might be for the best. Thank you.
Poor Inspector. You look exhausted.
Oh, no. Well, I feel terrible that I failed to protect Asogi-san. He was my responsibility. I think at this point it's fair to say there is no trial in this particular episode or whatever.
Oh.
Of course, my pain is nothing compared to yours. You were his friends. The truth is, I seem to have a heavy head since I woke this morning. This is basically a second tutorial case where they teach you about investigating and about the great deductions. So, a heavy head. That's interesting. My head's still throbbing too. And that was in response to you, Shady, to your question.
Oh, the chat didn't update on my end.
Oh. Okay, So the Senate ventilator joins to Miss Pavlova's cabin.
Yes, that's right.
And just a few minutes before he died, Kazuma saw something emerging from it. the speckled band, as he described it.
If only Miss Pavlova had been able to shed some light on it, but she seemed as baffled as we are.
Yes, I wonder if she's telling us everything, though.
I'm not sure.
I know most people aboard would say the same about me, but there's something about that woman that didn't sit right with me. This is where Kazuma spent his final moments, writing his diary.
1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound. 1:35 a.m. What looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill.
Looking at his writing here on this page, it's almost impossible to believe that he's gone.
Kazuma-sama left us a valuable clue in these words, I'm sure of it. We have to solve this mystery, Naruhodo-san.
We will. It's clear that these letters are written with the ink that somehow spilt on the floor, and they spell the Russian word for wardrobe.
It does seem to be an unambiguous pointer to you, Naruhodo-san, as you were sleeping in there.
But to be truly unambiguous, it should have just spelt out my name, don't you think?
Well, either way, one fact remains. It's hard to imagine that Kazuma-sama would have written his last words or word in Russian.
Which begs the question of who did write it.
Like, Naruhodo would be so much easier to write because it's probably just like 2 characters, isn't it?
Probably?
As opposed to like a whole string of like Russian characters.
All the books provided for passengers occupying this cabin neatly arranged on the shelf.
They were all over the place when we first looked around, if you remember.
Oh yes, and you tidied them up, didn't you?
You have to look after the ship's property. Unruly behavior in the cabins leads to damage.
But it really wasn't me who knocked them over.
Well, anyways, I feel much better now that they're neatly lined up. I can't relax when things are untidy. It's really such a beautiful color, this glass.
Looks like whatever it is has broken cleaning too. But the other half is nowhere to be seen.
And then there's the brick-colored mark.
Which is shoe polish, according to that great detective seemed to know all about.
Ace Detective! I suppose it must be from Kazuma-sama's shoes.
I think everybody's the Russian revolutionary in disguise. Maybe, but what I'd like to know is, how can the detective be so sure that shoe polish is not something else?
Because he's a great detective, of course!
That's hardly a reason, is it?
Ace Detective, more like
These are the rules of
defective.
These are the rules of passage for travel aboard the SS Buria. I mean, you definitely are shady. I've always known that.
Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabin. Pets are also strictly forbidden.
So by bringing her pet on board, Miss Pavlova has broken the rules. Let's talk about him for the sailor right here.
They called her friend, didn't she?
Yes, although we don't know what form this friend takes as yet.
I'm almost certain that whatever it is, it's inside the traveling case in her cabin.
A friend. There's more to this than it seems, I think. You! Where did you go? Oh, sorry, I just went to the next door cabin to investigate. Why? Who gave you permission for this? Well, Seaman Hasanaga did. That new Japanese, was it? Later, I will roll him into ball and throw him in cold ocean. Oh, he's gone back to guarding the door.
I hope Inspector Hasanaka doesn't find himself in too much trouble on our account.
He's really gone out of the way to help us, hasn't he? When we get back to Japan, we'll have to take him for a steak at La Carnival.
Oh my god. Oh, La Carnival. That would be a very long time from now, Mrs. Naruhodo-san.
I think we're done with everything in this room.
uh, 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 uh. Ah, look, Naruto-san. Seaman Stroganoff is gone.
Strong enough?
The burly Russian sailor who's always crossing his arms and glaring at us.
Ugh, all those Russian names are impossible to remember.
Pavlova, Stroganoff, Bolshevik.
Let's see you.
Tra-la-la.
Did you hear that?
Tra-la-la.
It sounded like someone singing.
Tra-la-la-la-la. Tra-la-la-la-la. I did it, the great detective.
I think you're doing the wrong voice.
Excuse me. Tra-la-la, lira-lira, hey. I did it, the great detective way.
Wow, such beautiful singing.
Thank you. This caroling, I know that lark-like voice. Oh, thank you.
This is not
Lark.
Sans Dragon.
It's a Sans Undertale?
Never mind that. This is a golden opportunity for us. It's not Sans Undertale's font.
Yes, you're right. We must seize it. Carpe the lark. Let's get inside Miss Pavlova's cabin while we can investigate.
Definitely, before that stringy knot crewman comes back.
It's Stroganoff, not Stringy Knot.
Should we?
He's always in the last, like these poses. Oh, it's Mr. Sholmes, look.
Well, you never know where he's going to turn up next, do you?
You really don't. He seems to be stealing a look at something as he sings to himself. Tra-la-la. Oh, it is. Tra-la-la, lira-lira-lay. I did this the great detective way.
It doesn't even sound like his voice either. He's still singing. Do you think he hasn't noticed us?
Or he's simply in extremely high spirits. Yes, there were times I'm sure you knew when the yard bit off more than it could chew.
Well, that's really good.
Thank you. And through it all, when there was doubt, it's lucky Herlock was about.
Excuse me.
It is a waltz, so you have to sing it in 3/4 time. I solved it all, and I stood tall. I did it the great detective way.
Mr. Sholmes.
Ah! What is it? What, do you want to fight? Honestly, interrupting a fellow when he's singing? And I was just about to reach the climactic finish.
Sorry, I thought you were never going to stop, so I figured now is as good a time as any.
I nearly dropped you to the floor with one of my famous right hooks. Huh.
Alright, I get the picture. Now could you put those fists away?
God, they really had the greatest of times creating this character. Mr. Sholmes, you seem to be examining something before we interrupted you. Ah, yes, that. I was immersed in the study of the ship's log as penned by the stockily built crewman who usually guards here. Ah, yes, the ship's log. I feel like this is more like Sherlock's story than his.
And did you find out anything useful from it?
Well, after 2 a.m. this morning, the majority of the entries are blank.
Which means there was nothing to report. Nothing of note happened, so...
You truly are a student of the land of the rising sun. You've been utterly blinded by it.
Sorry?
Your logic, my boy, is inverted. Whatever you mean, Mr. Sholmes? Observe the other pages, and all shall become clear. It would seem that the same crewman oft stands sentry in the first-class passageway. And he has an almost religious practice of recording nothing to report every half hour.
Oh, he writes then every 30 minutes.
Nothing to report? Precisely. Put simply, the seaman writes nothing to report when there's just that. And yet...
The ship's log from last night is largely blank. He didn't even write nothing to report.
Therefore there was something to report. Do you mean? Yes, there was some circumstances afoot last night, which led to the seaman being absent from his post. What kind of circumstances? What happened? That remains a mystery for now, but we can be sure something significant took place. So significant that it caused the seaman to forget his regular habit of scribbling nothing to report in the log. These are important details. I would stake my life on it. You must log the ship's log in your mental file.
No, Dragon, no. Now that deduction is worthy of a great detective.
Ah, you're starting to understand what my way is. I see. What makes Sholmes brilliance.
I knew that, Dragon, look what you unleashed upon the world.
Oh, ouch.
What is it? Are you hurt?
Oh, don't worry yourself. I seem to be afflicted with a throbbing head this morning for some reason. Nothing more. Huh. Everybody had a headache? That must have been one wicked party. Well, my friends, until our next encounter.
He's still singing to himself. I can hear it as he wanders off down the passageway.
Oh yeah, my Titus laugh is notorious, Dragon.
Is something wrong, Suzuda-san? You seem lost in thought.
All alone. You are the ocean. I feel the same.
Sorry?
Ever since I woke up this morning, I've had something of a headache. It's a sort of continuous throbbing.
Oh, you too. Okay, I think that's everything here.
Miss Betzlo.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we had the book now. Oh, we could examine the book. We have it right here. See, you can look up nothing to report. Very close. 4:30.
4:30. Nothing to report.
Hey there, cool name. Welcome. He lied. Swordman and main protag don't make out. I mean, they still can. It'd be a little more problematic, but...
It'd be... well, I mean, Renosuke could turn out to be a necromancer.
That is not where I thought you were going when you said the first half of that word.
I mean, maybe.
Clearly, I thought you were going to go with Necrodancer.
I was going to say, I am a fan of necrodancers.
Miss Pavlova isn't back yet.
Oh, but her clothes are.
Seto-san. Oh, where's she gone?
Oh, and the trunk is open. And the food's out.
Hey, what are you doing? Those are her private things.
Oh, she can read private things. There's not a moment to waste, Naruhodo-san. We must investigate as quickly as we can.
I suppose you're right, for Kazuma's sake. Spirit channeling wasn't invented yet, cool name.
It wasn't invented until 1975 when Stephanie Spirit Channeling invented it back on her farm.
Well, somebody had to invent spirits first.
Oh yeah, it wasn't until Gregory Spirit in 1972. And not just for Kazuma-san.
What do you mean?
It won't be long until we arrive at port in Hong Kong. Oh. I don't want you to be in those handcuffs when we get there.
Really?
Why did I think that they were sailing all the way to America from Japan?
They are. But they're taking a
No, they're
stop
going to
there.
Britain.
Oh, America. Yeah, no, not America.
Yeah, I thought they were sailing from Japan to America, going through all of America to then go out on another boat
That
to
that'd
go to
be
Britain.
that'd be dumb.
It would be very dumb. I forgot that planes don't exist. I thought they were just boating to Japan to America and then flying. It's dumb. Don't mind me. I goofed. We must solve this case, Naruto-san, by ourselves if we have to.
You know, son, we might find something that's underwear drawer. Yes, we will. Start. I don't know. Up here. So this ventilator connects to Kazuma's cabin next door. Kazuma's cabin next door.
Yes, although what a fool a shipbuilder must have to open a ventilator into another room.
Ah, maybe it's so if there's a gas leak next door, the occupant of this cabin would notice and raise the alarm.
Or the occupants of both cabins would die of gas poisoning.
That is a possibility. Anyway, last night, Kazuma wrote that he saw a speckled band coming out of his ventilator. There's one of those next to the bed in Kazuma's cabin too.
Yes, it's a bell cord. I can't resist.
She barely hesitated there, and she gave it a good tug too.
No, I didn't actually expect anyone to come.
I don't want them to. We're trying to investigate in secret.
Naruto-san, are you there?
Sorry? I'm right here, yes. Why?
Oh, good. I thought you might have climbed into the wardrobe when I wasn't looking. There's no place like home.
Believe me, I don't have some strange compulsion to jump inside every wardrobe I see, you know.
Well, anyways, I don't think anyone could fit inside this one. It's filled with beautiful outfits. I suppose they're all stage costumes.
I was rather hoping we might find Miss Pavlova's friend hiding in there, but no such luck. Like the pose on this game? I do too. The pose and animations are great. This cabin door has the same simple sort of bolted latch that our cabin door has. If the bolt's drawn across, there's no way anybody could enter the cabin from outside. Suzato, do you have something to say?
Yes, it's not particularly heavy-duty bolt. It's not a particularly heavy-duty bolt, is it? But still, it wouldn't slide across its own accord, would it?
No, and the door is made of metal, so there's no chance of trickery using magnets to unbolt it from the outside.
And it seals up perfectly too, to stop any seawater coming in. So you couldn't use the method you told me of passing a thread through the crack around the closed door either.
I seem to know a lot of tricks for opening doors. I'm starting to see why they suspect me. It's actually can't spell or pronounce any of the names, I forget them a lot. Ah yes, they're displayed in this cabin too, look, that's Hesperia's rules of passage. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden.
I suppose Miss Pavlova realized that she needed to keep the contents in her case a secret after she read it. Her special friend, I mean.
Wonder where her friend has disappeared to now. Probably having fun exploring the ship, I imagine.
I just hope Seaman Stroganoff doesn't find it and throw it overboard.
Oh yes, so do I. Both. Cool name, both. All the books are toppled over together, look, every single one.
Again?
No, these ones were already toppled over. We never examined this room.
Oh. Do you think that was God of the Sea, perhaps? He's toppled too, though.
It's exactly the same as the bookcase next door. In Kazuma's cabin.
Perhaps. Perhaps Miss Pavlova was practicing a difficult ballet and fell against the bookcase?
Unknown, cruel name, unknown. I don't know, would she really be practicing ballet on the same night she ran away from her ballet company?
Alright then. Must have been you. You lost your temper, knocked them all over in a fit of rage.
Not everything bad that happens on the ship is because of me, you know.
Well, anyways, I'll set them all straight again in here too. I don't like seeing things in disarray.
Cruel name.
Oh my, Miss Pavlova's case is open!
It's completely empty inside, but according to the great detective's great deduction, she was hiding her special friend in there.
Yes, a friend that she had to keep secret.
Because you're not allowed to bring animals aboard the Hesperia. I wonder what kind of animals she had in there. And more to the point, where is it now?
Ding, 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 ding. Oh, what's that?
Sorry, somebody has to voice act it. Shut
Shut
down!
down the engines immediately. Vessel sighted a quarter-mile forward. Full stop, hard to starboard. All hands brace for impact.
What the?
I think we're about to crash into another ship.
What?
Oh. I can't stand.
Zeta-san, hold on to me! Ah! Zeta-san, are you alright? Are you injured at all?
I think I'm fine. Thank you, Naruto-san.
It looks like we avoided a collision.
I think.
Yes, the ship has come to a stop.
Oh my goodness, what about you, Naruto-san? Are you hurt?
No, I'm fine. Hello, is anybody in there? Shout if you need us. Oh, there's nothing you.
Hello, is anybody in there? Shout if you need assistance.
Oh, that sounds like... Oh no, this... Thank God!
You boozled yourself! You boozled yourself! You banned and you boozled us.
Susato.
Inspector Osanaga.
Is that you there, Naruto-san? How did you like my Herlock Sholmes impression? And bolt the door.
Oh!
Quickly!
That makes sense!
What? The bolt?
The ship did a hard maneuver and the bolt slid after the
Susato.
murder because the bookshelves were both in disarray. I solved it.
You solved
Look
it,
at
case
that.
closed. I might as well not play the rest.
Case closed. Let's go. Let's call it a wrap, boys. Look at that.
The door is bolted. Did you do that, Susato-san?
No, I didn't touch it.
Well, that's strange. How did... And look at all the books. They're just like they were before again.
Naruto-san, aren't you going to open the door and let the inspector in?
I'd better tidy
Is
this
that
place
what
up
happened?
first. I can't give spoilers if you're right
sea-
or wrong.
Well, no, I'm saying the ship buckled.
A violent emergency stoppage solved one mystery at least, in a very, very vivid way.
And then Kazuma fell back and hit his head and then wrote wardrobe? No, because why would he write it in Russian?
But I know that what awaited for us on the other side of the cabin door would not be pleasant. Hurried around tidying up the cabin with a new sense of foreboding in my heart. Jeez! That was like 30 minutes! The previous one was like over 3 hours, and that part was like 30 minutes. I wonder if we'll finish!
My, I have the stream on my phone, and my phone keeps turning itself off, and every time I come back, I get a full, like, half-minute ad.
Somehow, the door to the cabin we ended up bolted after we made an emergency stop. Sada-san took a deep breath, then gently slid back the bolt. You! What are you doing in Miss Pavlova's quarters? Ah, you both look unhurt. Good. Yes, we're fine, thank you. What on earth happened? We heard something about how we were going to collide with another ship. Yes, it appears to have been a false report, though. Oh, how did that happen? There's a dense fog outside, so it's extremely difficult to see. Someone must have thought he saw a ship ahead. This person obviously triggered the alarm, and that's why we made an emergency stop.
And that's when Pavlova came in. She came in last night.
Everything is chaos. Passengers are screaming, crew are running everywhere. This first class area is the only quiet part of the ship at the moment.
And they drug everybody on the ship so they would be too asleep to feel the ship buckling to let Pavlova in.
Cesaro, you have a line.
Oh, I see.
Someone triggered the alarm. Does that mean... Does someone press that button outside?
Listen, I'm an ace detective. You wicked intruder dressed in all black, you're the devil!
Sorry, me. I've been called a lot of things before, but devil is a first.
You opened my traveling case, how could you?
What? No, we didn't touch it.
That's right, Miss Pavlova. It was already open when we came into your cabin. Inspector!
Yes?
Arrest this man. I know he did it. He's a criminal. It is not enough that he has killed a man.
Da, and he is stowaway as well. If Vixen promises not to steal chicken, do you believe? Ugh.
Take him away. He is a trespasser as well as everything else.
Stowing away, trespassing, killing. She is right, you are devil. It doesn't look good, does it? There is cell below deck. Throw him in. Tomorrow we dock in Hong Kong. Then we give you straight to police. Wait, a cell?
Please, Inspector Osanaka, is there nothing you can do?
This is a Russian vessel. I really have no jurisdiction here. After my last effort to appeal to the captain's good nature, I think I'm out of options.
This is terrible.
This is a real crisis. I've got to find a solution. Immediately.
Let's check that teapot. There's something about that teapot that's weird.
I just need to keep calm and focus on the task at hand, which is investigating.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. Don't touch my things!
You want me to show you where a crawfish hibernates?
Hiya! Why? Why? You're on my side. Mr. Naruhodo, what do you think you're doing?
Wow, everyone's attacking me. And I was just starting to think she was my friend.
I'm assuming that's gonna happen if
Isn't
you try
there
to
anyone
inspect anything.
who can help me out of this mess? Yeah, that's everywhere.